Alright, so here is episode 4 of the Trackside Girls podcast. I think actually all of us have different setups. I mean, Molly just has better lighting than before. And but I am currently in the process of moving, so my computer setup's on the floor right now. Like I'm only using one monitor. I don't have my like microphone stand. My keyboard's on the floor. Like
The whole thing.
yes.
The lights I have is a fan light
We'll see.
and these display case lights, and I have 4 of them over here.
Yeah,
Those are the only lights I have on.
it's more of like that overhead light before. It was just like in the wrong direction.
Yeah, it was.
But okay, guys. We don't have a lot on the agenda, to be honest. First thing that we had up that happened a couple days ago, Ross Chastain taking over the Busch Light sponsor.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, I didn't see that coming, but with Justin Marks in charge of like all of that, yeah, that makes sense, to be honest. Justin Marks probably went out and was like, all right, come on.
That could be mean Busch Light watermelon flavor coming out.
That's true.
Okay, just letting everyone know, all of us are above the age of 21.
Yeah.
So please don't report us.
Yeah. Please don't report us.
So, on to the race weekend. There was no Formula 1 this past weekend. It was an off weekend for them. But we did have NASCAR, and they raced in Loudon, New Hampshire. So, it kind of looked like it was gonna rain. I'm pretty sure it did rain. I'm stupid. The Cup race got postponed because of rain. Oh my.
I thought it was going to rain for Xfinity.
It was raining earlier in the day. I have a friend on an Xfinity team, and he thought it was gonna be delayed or postponed because it was raining. Let's see, Saturday. What happened first? Did qualifying happen first? For Cup. I didn't watch Xfinity qualifying.
I didn't either. I was sleeping.
I
I've watched a little bit.
I know Kyle Busch wrecked in Cup qualifying.
He didn't have a good week at all.
Bro, my picks got tanked because Eric Almirola wrecked in the race. I was literally beating all of the people in our league, and because Eric Almirola wrecked, he only got like 7 points total, and I was like, Cup qualifying. Christopher Bell got the pole, which I genuinely thought Christopher Bell could have won that race because he won it last year, and he from what I could tell, he was running really well, but he got beat out by his teammate, Martin Truex Jr. Are you guys fans of Martin Truex Jr.?
My mom is.
I don't hate him. I don't hate him, but I don't like him either. So I'm like a meh.
Yeah, that's kind of how I feel. Like, he's not my first choice, but he's not my last choice either, you know?
Yeah.
He won. He got the Lobster. I didn't watch the post-race. I was just watching it until it ended because Joey Logano was right there in second.
Didn't watch the race at all. I was working, so I
Oh,
couldn't.
okay, fair. Oh, it was a Monday.
Yeah. So I'm not on the whole NASCAR conversation on this one because I didn't even watch the race.
I don't know. I mean, okay, what about the Xfinity race, though? You had some strong opinions on the Xfinity race.
Did I actually? Oh.
Yep.
Sure.
The the John Hunter Nemechek stack up that ruined Parker Kligerman's day. It ruined our bestie's day.
No kidding.
I was so sad. Oh, I just want to note, so you guys, if you guys saw our last episode, I was handing out bracelets to different drivers, and both Parker Kligerman and apparently Noah still has his on too, but bestie Parker still has his on.
Mm-hmm.
We love
Yeah,
Parker.
he does.
Even though John Hunter Nemechek did that stack up, took out probably, honestly at this point, like 7 cars, I think. He went on to win the race. I feel like it was really close between him and Chandler Smith. Like, honestly, wait, has Chandler Smith gotten a win this season yet?
Yes.
I think so.
Oh, yeah, he would have had to, because this is his first full Xfinity year, right? And he got his first career win.
Yeah, he got it at Richmond. He won at Richmond.
Okay. All right.
I have like a list of literally all the like tracks and then who the winner is.
Oh.
So I can remember. Yeah, he won at Richmond. Yeah.
But, so this makes John Hunter Nemechek's 4th win this season. Last year, I don't think he had a full-time ride. This year, and then Joe Gibbs took a chance on him, put him in the 20 car, and he is out here dominating.
Mm-hmm.
Don't know how I feel about that. Like, I don't think I was ever, like, specifically a John Hunter fan. He's chill. Like, if you meet him, he's pretty funny.
Fair point.
Yeah.
I was never a fan of him in trucks because he always made me mad every single time I had to watch him race. So I've never been a fan of him, but it's normally how it goes. But then you meet them and you're like, you're like super chill. So I'm still not gonna be a fan of you, but you're cool, so it's fine.
It's like I like you off the track.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
Once you get inside that race car, I don't know.
It's like, once you get inside that race car, you're my worst enemy.
Yeah, honestly.
I think we might round out the NASCAR news with one final thing. So what I wanted to mention was ESPN. I think it was ESPN. I got a notification earlier today that Martin Truex Jr. is going to be announcing soon if he is going to be retiring this season or not. Do you guys think he's going to retire?
I feel like he probably will, because they asked him like last season how he felt about it, and he wanted to go out with like winning and stuff, and now like he's winning this year, so I feel like I could see him possibly retiring after this year, because he's won like a couple of times this year already, and he said last year that he like would if he could get like more wins, so I feel like he probably would retire this year after this year's over.
They said he's 43 years old? I think I'm pretty sure that's what I heard them say. Don't know if that's
something like that.
Yeah, I don't exactly know how old he is, but
I don't know.
But if he's gotten 3 wins so far this season, he moves to the top of the playoff boards. So it could be, I think I mentioned this before, he could go out and win this year's championship and then call it, because he's on that high, right? Or he could just be satisfied with all of the wins that he's gotten already,
True. I feel like he wants to win another championship though, so he'll probably fight hard for that one.
Let's see. Honestly, out of the people that have gotten wins so far this year, I want to say there's a very big possibility for the final four, Truex, potentially William Byron.
Possibly, yeah.
I know for sure those two, I would say, as of the ones right now, because I can't exactly name off all of the ones right now. But those would two, out of the ones that I can think of, I would say those two are probably would be the biggest candidates for the final four.
At this moment in time, definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, William has how many wins now?
I think he's tied with Truex with 3.
Are they tied?
I think so.
No.
I think Willie Mine has 4.
Oh, I must have read the graphic wrong that I saw after the race yesterday.
Let's see. He has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. William has 5 wins.
Are you sure that's all Cup? Because pretty sure he's won an Xfinity too this year.
Oh, well, in Cup he has, because he went back-to-back from Vegas and then Phoenix.
And then I know he's won Darlington.
He's won Darlington, and then he won the Atlanta, and then...
Oh, that freezing one. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's 4.
Is it? He hasn't won in Xfinity.
I thought what did he win? Was it trucks that he won?
Yes, it was trucks.
Okay, that's what I was thinking then.
Because his first one was Vegas.
No, he didn't win in trucks either.
I could have swore he won in one of the other series this year.
I don't even...
Or was it Kyle Larson?
It's Kyle Larson. Kyle Larson's been doing all the racing. Except for Pocono this time, where Chase is racing in Xfinity.
Which, honestly, I'm really surprised at that. Like, I would have...
Low-key, me too, because, I mean, he didn't do it a whole lot last year.
Yeah,
He didn't race a whole lot last year in, like, truck or Xfinity.
I don't think he raced at all. I
know he was going to last year in Pocono, but then they put Alex in the car for Xfinity. I don't know. I don't talk about him, so it's fine.
Chase Elliott. So where do you?
No, okay. Listen here. I wrote down exactly when this all happened. And I'm sorry, what? It's a total of, where is it?
So
it's been a total of 5 times. 5 times this man has sweared me.
Okay, so for those of you who don't know, Lakota was a Chase Elliott fan, because every time she's tried to get his autograph on like a red carpet or thing, he's always skipped her, or not always, but for
basically, yeah,
5 different times.
The first time was the Nashville SRX race. That was 2021, but it's because there was like this husband and wife next to me, and they had literally like his truck and his cars like glued on a wood plate and made him sign every single one. He used my Sharpie, handed it back to me, and then walked away from me. Then I had to wait for him at the rope, and then I got a picture, and I had asked a stranger. Then I called Molly, because then I was literally crying because I didn't know what to feel at that moment in time. And then Bristol, but I have to say that one was because him and Harvick got a fight, so he was a little mad. That was rough. And then every single Martinsville race, because he's on a golf cart, that man does not walk. And then Kansas.
I got that on video.
And then Atlanta twice. So we're done.
Oh, so actually a story about Martinsville. It was whenever his leg was broken. and they wouldn't, like, there's like no other way to get into the infield other, like, unless you drive through that open gate onto the track or you walk down the pedestrian tunnel under the track, right?
Yeah.
And they wouldn't bring a golf cart in to get him, because I don't know if there was a race going on or if they just wouldn't let a golf cart in there. So I can't remember who it was, but they were telling me about it. Trying to get him to sign something, and his PR manager or whatever was like, no. And apparently Chase gave his PR girl his shoes and stuff and walked down the stairs and signed whatever it was as he was leaving the track when his PR said he couldn't. That probably makes Coda feel bad. I'm sorry.
Well, nice to know. I'm convinced at this point that Chase Elliott knows exactly who I am and he just hates me. So that's what I'm going with.
Actually, I can't say anything. I have instances like that too.
So,
but with other drivers.
When the one at Kansas, I literally have video proof where he just looked straight at Lakota and waved her off. And
So-
waved right at her and just
This is what he does. He gives you a nod. He goes, and head nods and waves, and I'm like,
he looked directly at Lakota and just waved at her and just walked off and went directly across and
started. Yeah.
Well, did you guys see whenever I tried to get him to high five me?
Yeah.
Yeah, he did not understand the assignment. He gave me a fist bump.
That's actually kind of funny though.
Yes, it was funny. But I'm like, I literally, because I didn't put the audio in that TikTok that I made. And so I was like, I just put my hand up and I'm like, Chase, all I want is a high five. That's exactly what I said. And then he like looks at me, so I know he heard me. And then he like pauses for a second and then he goes, and I'm like, all right, that's not it. Okay, it's fine.
A for effort. He tried.
Yeah. So aside from NASCAR, IndyCar also raced this weekend in Toronto, Canada. And Christian Lundgaard got pole. And he also won his first ever IndyCar race. So he got his first career win in Toronto. Which
That's wild.
See, I don't know much about the IndyCar drivers, but he's one of the ones that I pull for. Or like, quote unquote pull for. That's loosely, okay? Like I said, I don't know that much about IndyCar, but there's still a few drivers that I'm like, oh, alright, I know you. We'll pull for you whenever you're doing good, I guess. But that's not me saying I don't pull for them when they're doing bad. I
Oh my gosh.
I support them all throughout their highs and lows, okay? He got his first career win, and something that's kind of funny. So, there's this F1 announcer. I absolutely love her. She is an icon, okay? Her name is Lissy McIntosh. And there's nothing confirmed, but she's been seen a lot with part-time IndyCar driver Marcus Armstrong, who I pull for, who also has a podcast called Screaming Meals, which is so funny. The three of them, Clement, I think that's how you say his name, and James, they're so funny. But Lissy and Marcus have been spotted together, and James kind of little bit outed them, because this past weekend has been the third time that the IndyCar broadcast has caught them on camera together on pre-race whenever they're trying to keep it like low key, and and the IndyCar broadcast is like, nope, you don't get any privacy here. It's like the whole world's gonna know. I love her so much. If anything, like, we need to make sure Marcus Armstrong is good enough for our queen, okay? I wish I could have met her at the Miami Grand Prix, but she was down, like, in the paddock in a place that I couldn't get to, and I was so sad about it. I love her so much. I saw Simon Pagenaud is out for another race. He will not be racing in Iowa. You guys remember that we talked about his really big wreck?
Mm-hmm.
And I think it was practice. Yeah. Well, I think they said Connor Daly's stepping in for him again. So we wish him all the luck, and just hope that he continues to get better. I'd hate to. I don't know how these drivers feel about having to be out of their rides due to injury. It probably sucks, because, I mean, like, this is, yeah, it's your job, but this is a very dangerous job, so you know this is something you choose to do, and, like, I'm sure you wouldn't be doing it if you don't enjoy it, you know?
Yeah.
Now, to one of my favorite parts. Formula 1. Now, we didn't have a race this past weekend, but they will be racing in Budapest this coming weekend, which I'm extra excited about because Daniel Ricciardo is back on the grid. I am beyond excited. It's honestly kind of like a double-edged sword, because Nick DeVries got replaced. Which, to be honest, with Red Bull and AlphaTauri, those two teams specifically are very cutthroat. You saw it whenever Daniel Kvyat got replaced by Max Verstappen. Like, they pulled Max from Toro Rosso, the Red Bull Junior team, and kicked Daniel Kvyat. And which, in the end, it kind of worked out, because Max, 2-time world champion. But it's, yeah. But with Nick DeVries, if you look, it's been 10 races, I think. And he's just not performing. And in a Red Bull back team, you've got to, I know their equipment isn't necessarily, or actually isn't as good as the official Red Bull team, but you still have to try to get points, or at least like a top 12, where Nick DeVries, I think the highest he's finished is maybe 16th. And it's a little upsetting, because he didn't get to do his home race. He didn't get to race in the Netherlands. But I'm a huge Daniel Ricciardo fan. And
I've missed Danny back on the grid. He's so chaotic. And it's lovely that he's coming back. But it's unfortunate.
It sucks. It definitely sucks. I don't know how many people know, but I have to say loosely, because all I did was get a picture with him, but he looked at me dead in the eyes, so I've gotten a picture with Daniel Ricciardo. It was literally on my bucket list, right? I love him so much. Actually, to be fair, he answered me. So I went to, during the weekend of the Miami Grand Prix, they had a pool party at the Hard Rock Hotel, which I found out later that's where Red Bull stayed, and I was so sad that I missed Max Verstappen. But so Daniel was making an appearance at this pool party, and he came out, and the crowd, it was like silent. It was right before he was about to start talking, and me being the excited, like, I was so excited, I just screamed, "I love you, Daniel." and then he literally stopped before he said anything. He's like, "Oh, thank you, I love you too." I wish I got it on video. Like, I genuinely, I probably would have fainted and face planted in that pool, because I was literally so the way that was set up is they were standing on this like little island in the middle of the pool that had like a walkway on the backside that they could leave, and and then you have the pool, and then the edge of the pool where the rest of the room was, where all of the guests were standing, and I knew that they were going to be in the middle of that, right? So I got as close as possible, because if I knew that I wasn't going to get a chance to get a picture or anything, I would have dove into that pool and made my way over there, okay? Just saying. But with that, I saw that they were starting to leave the stage, and I saw where they came in and out of the party. So I booked it, okay? Like, full on ran. I don't run, okay? I do not run, okay? Not for anybody. So I booked it. Like I said, I don't run, okay? Because I had talked to the woman who was kind of in charge of the party, like, beforehand, and she told me where they were coming in and out. So, like, she gave me a little insight. And so apparently that woman saw me, like, full on running, dodging through these people, to this crowd, to get to where, right? And she told me after the fact, she's like, "Yeah, I saw you," and I just went, "Up, I don't see that." Because she knew before, because I talked to her before he came out, and she knew that I was very, very, very determined to see Daniel Ricciardo, okay? So I ran, and I was the last person, because they had stopped everybody from going through the entrance so they could get by, and I was the last person to get through there, because the security guard was like, no, and I'm like, "I'm going that way," and I pointed and like kind of like in the end of where they would have come out at, and so he let me through. So I ended up on the other side where Christian Horner and Daniel Ricciardo were coming out off this little stage, and so I stood there. Nobody told me to move, because I was just chilling. I was just hanging out, and like, you can see me, because I'm videoing the whole thing, because I wanted to video it and just take screenshots for the pictures, because that's probably that was going to be the easiest way. And so you can see me, like, almost hyperventilating in this video. I literally have to sit there and take, like, a deep breath because I was like, "Oh my god, Daniel Ricciardo's standing right there." Sorry. Okay, the bracelet. So, that night, for the pool party, they gave us, like, bright neon fluorescent green plastic bracelets. Like, one of the ones that have those, like, weird little pins, plastic pins that, like, you have to cut it off if you're taking it off, right?
Yeah.
So mine was just big enough to where I could slip it on and off my wrist. So I've literally kept it, and I've been wearing it, like, ever since that day. Because it's like a reminder of, like, oh my god, I met Daniel Ricciardo that night. I paid, and unfortunately, it was $100 ticket, but I met Daniel Ricciardo. Okay, but actually, to be fair, it was an open bar. They had a bunch of, like, like they had girls dressed up as mermaids. They had like fire jugglers, and Shaq was gonna be DJing like Shaquille O'Neal. So, but we didn't stay for that. It started pouring rain. After I met Daniel Ricciardo, I left.
I'm out of here.
Yep, that's all I came for.
That's all I came for.
I got what I came for. I'm out of here.
Oh my gosh, this is like a whole Daniel Ricciardo segment. Whoops, sorry. Anyway, he's back on the grid. And we love that. We're so excited. That means we get more Landon and Maxiel. Like, I'm so ready for this content, okay?
Oh, my heart. Just thinking about it. Thinking about it makes my heart.
Like, I was already pretty happy with the like hockey one that him and Max did, and then the little toy boats with Max and Checo. I'm just so excited. And then he's gonna be with Yuki.
That's gonna be so cute.
Literally two of the like, energetic, I guess.
The most chaotic.
Yes. I'm very excited.
Yeah.
So because we did our in-person episode, we didn't go over the results of the British Grand Prix. I wish we caught our reactions on video whenever qualifying ended. Like, I'm pretty sure I was screaming across the parking lot of like how excited I was.
Oh yeah, you were.
Mm-hmm.
But I was right there with you, so it's fine.
Like, we were like, Lando Norris on the second row? What? And then Oscar Piastri in third? Bro, Oscar should have gotten that podium. No, okay, I'm not... Nothing against Lewis, but Oscar Piastri had a podium drive. Like, he did really well. Like, especially to be able to hold off a 7-time world champion. Like, pretty good. And then the champagne spray was back. Did you guys see the video of Lewis Hamilton trying to figure out how to do
Lando's champagne spray? Oh yeah, I watched it. I don't know how many TikToks I've seen on it, and everybody's like, did anybody else notice that Lewis tried to do Lando champagne spray and then couldn't do it, and then he just gave up, and then he just did it the normal way? And I'm like, yeah.
You can see, like, if you watch the video closely, after Lewis like hits the podium, he's like, the visual confusion on his face. He's like, how did he?
Yeah, he's like, how did he do that?
But actually, I'm pretty sure I know how Lando does it. I'm pretty sure he shakes up the bottle first, and then slams it down, and so all of the pressure.
He does, cause out of all the videos I was looking at them, cause I was looking at it. He does. Lando shakes it up first, and then he slams it onto there, and then it just pops open.
And he does it like with like an immense like amount of pressure. Like,
yeah, he does. Like, I'm surprised it doesn't like break
he's
like
actually,
when he does it, cause he slams it pretty hard.
Actually, he's broken some before.
That doesn't surprise me. And then he dropped the trophy on the ground too. So that's not the first time. He's done it before.
I'm pretty sure he broke Max's Monaco trophy. Because he did his champagne thing and the trophy fell off the top step of the podium.
Oh, Lando. He's a special one.
But so during the British Grand Prix, we were so excited about Lando, alright? And we were screaming about that. But they used the British Grand Prix as the first shooting spot for the new F1 movie featuring Brad Pitt. So we got a little bit of information about that movie. Apparently it is about a retired F1 driver who comes back and has a rookie as his teammate. And this team is like the back of the grid, always like struggling to get higher than 19th, you know. And so that's why they bring back the older Formula driver. But what I wanted, so obviously they went out and they shot in between sessions, with the cameras mounted onto the cars, and they were actually, so they're actually Formula 2 cars, but they're modified to look like Formula 1 cars. So they don't have the speed that a Formula 1 car has, but they have the look. But what they did, the only session that they were also on track with the other cars, this was the only time, was the formation lap. They were the very back of the grid, in 21st and 22nd. And so they did the start, I'm pretty sure the formation lap, the start, and they did the first turn and then pulled off. So that's as far as they let them go with the other racers. I don't know how I feel with Brad Pitt being able to get a super license before a lot of Formula 2 drivers, or however they do it. But there's a lot of drivers out there that aren't. Oh no, it might be IndyCar that I'm thinking of. Like you have to have a specific license to drive in the higher series of Formula. And I was really surprised on how Brad Pitt got his before some other professional race car drivers, you know?
Dang, should have been Tom Cruise, because I mean that man has every license in the business he can get.
Yes, I agree, because so turns out the director of this Formula 1 movie is the same director that worked on Top Gun Maverick, which is why they have actual cars on track. From what I know, it's going to be, I think it might be an Apple TV exclusive. I think Lewis Hamilton is an exclusive or executive producer, from what I heard. But yeah, the team is called Apex GP, which I guess is a movie team name. Because, like, the apex of a corner, you know, okay, you're trying to get a play on words. So, alright. But I'm so excited about it. I didn't hear a release date. It might be out there. I just didn't see it. But I'm very excited about that. And
it comes out soon-ish.
Okay.
Because we have previews for it at the theater.
Are you sure that's not Gran Turismo?
It's not that one.
Okay.
It's this one.
I do want to talk about Gran Turismo in a minute. But so while they were filming for the movie, so we might see some cameos, because the two drivers that are in the movie were hanging around Carlos Sainz a lot. And then for the driver intros, where they do the or not intros, but where they do the anthem and stuff, they were standing on the end right next to Max Verstappen. So it's possible we're gonna get some drivers in there. And also, you could be, honestly, with an F1 movie, one, you'd be stupid not to put Lewis Hamilton in it. And two, if you want some people to watch the movie, put Charles Leclerc in it. Charles could be probably the worst actor on the face of the planet. I have no idea. But if you put him in it,
it won't matter because he's hot.
Yeah, you'll get the women audience because I know a lot of like that's the reason my mom like actually listens to me talk about Formula 1 because Charles Leclerc. Like she will sit there and watch TikTok edits with me. But only if they're Charles. She could care less about any of the others. I will say my mom went with me to the Miami Grand Prix, and she was with me when I met Alex Albon, Logan Sargent, Jensen Button, um, Kevin Magnussen, and Nico Hulkenberg. So she was with me, so she knows of other drivers. It's not just Charles Leclerc, but Charles Leclerc.
It's hot. That's my word. He's hot.
Fair. So speaking of racing movies, I am so excited for Gran Turismo, which Coda works at a movie theater, so you've probably seen the previews of that one.
So many times.
I'm so excited because I feel one, it has David Harbour in it, which most of everybody knows him as Hopper from Stranger Things. And just the previews look so good. And like it's apparently based on a true story. Like I haven't read that much into it, but just general racing movies like I love. Like Disney Pixar Cars. Okay? And then the Fast and Furious franchise. Those were my movies. I would genuinely like pick those to watch on repeat every day. Like Cars 3, absolute favorite.
Oh my gosh, no. But same.
Cuz
Cars 3 is like superior. Like if I'm going to watch anyone, I will watch that one. Not going to lie, I used to think that Cars 2 was trash because I just didn't get it because I just never watched it.
Okay. No.
Now I get it though. But also sometimes it makes literally no sense to me because I'm like, why did they do this? Like the first movie, and then they go to the second movie, and I'm like, what is this?
Yeah. I originally I thought the second one. Okay, this was before the third one came out. I had liked the second one more than the first one, just because I liked the idea of them traveling around the world. And this was before I actually got into Formula 1. So I'm like sitting here like, that would be so cool, you know? Well, turns out they have a racing series for that. But so I was so excited that you could see all of these different places and like you got, because Radiator Springs is a tiny little boring town. Okay? Not necessarily boring, but tiny, okay? So I had always liked the second one more than the first one. Then the third one came out, and Cruz Ramirez. I, like, as a girl, a woman, a female, whatever, like, watching racing and seeing a media of a female racer, like, that was just fantastic. Like I loved the way that it went down, like Lightning McQueen basically handing the reins over to her, making her finish the race, and like just such a power move. Okay.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I'm so excited for that movie. Where's the NASCAR racing next?
Pocono.
Oh, the Tricky Triangle.
Uh-huh.
What turn for?
Yeah. What's a turn for? Never heard of her. Never heard of her.
Do you guys know if they ever fixed that bump in?
Probably not.
That was like completely screwing everybody over.
Probably not, because they probably honestly don't care that much to fix it.
Fair.
I'm just saying the truth. They probably don't care enough. Unless enough of the drivers and like the crew chiefs and spotters complain about it, most of the drivers. If enough of the drivers complained about it, then maybe they fix it, but I highly doubt that one.
Yeah, I just knew that they were, they had a lot of trouble with it last year, so I don't know if they actually, like, went out of their way to try and do anything about it.
Probably not.
So
they'll probably fix it if somebody seriously gets injured.
Yeah.
Or a major accident happens. That's probably the only time they'll ever fix it. Other than that, I don't think they fix it. I think it's still the same.
Is it only Xfinity and Cup again this week, or
All 3 trucks are back this weekend.
Ooh, that's gonna be fun.
They've been off forever.
And then, is it this weekend? It must be this weekend. IndyCar is racing Iowa. And then Budapest. Is Budapest?
Aren't they doing a doubleheader this weekend?
Who?
IndyCar.
Ooh, I actually have no idea.
Isn't that this weekend?
Is it this weekend? Or is it next weekend?
Like doubleheader and as in what? Do you mean like 2 weekends in a row?
I just saw someone popped up on TV. They said doubleheader weekend.
Oh, I have honestly.
Yeah. July 22nd and July 23rd are upcoming races.
Oh, they must have them back to back. I'm not as familiar with the IndyCar schedule. It's like I usually just like try to tune in. Ooh, who ran well? Who won? Oh, it was Denny Hamlin who got disqualified last year at Pocono. That's who won last year, but he got disqualified and it went to Chase Elliott.
Yeah. Because what was wrong with his car? I don't remember.
It was something. It wasn't something underneath the wrap that whenever they went to go to tear down, they had to pull the wrap off and saw it.
Yeah, they tried to cheat.
It was two of the cars. Okay. If it's the same race I'm thinking of, Christopher Bell finished 6th in that race. But he was originally running like 4th or something. So my dad came up with the conspiracy theory that the reason Christopher Bell backed off is because all of the Gibbs cars were like that, and just so Christopher Bell wouldn't get caught, he backed off so he wouldn't go through inspection.
You know, I can see that happening though. I'm not gonna lie.
Because it was when Kyle Busch was still there, and it was Denny Hamlin and Kyle Busch both got disqualified.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was 2 Gibbs cars.
Yeah, because everybody thought it was suspicious because at one point the Gibbs cars for like the first like half of the race or second half of the race or whatever, they were all running 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, they were.
And so everybody was like, this is a bit suspicious. And then they all backed off because they're like, we're all gonna end up like gonna get disqualified. I remember that.
Oh, and then Denny's meme afterwards. Anybody wanna what he said? He described the trophy as something, and then he said a slightly used bottle of champagne.
Oh, yeah. Okay. No, I saw that. I don't remember what it was though.
What word did he use to describe it? It was
I don't know, 'cause I remember that.
It was like Oh my gosh, I can like visualize it in my head, but I can't. I don't know, but yeah, it was funny though. All the memes that he was making afterwards, and then he tagged Chase Elliott and was like, "Yo, where do you want me to send this?" And then
Yeah,
wasn't Chase like, "Nah, you can keep it."
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Because Chase came back and he was like sassy, sarcastic in his comment back to Denny because they were like, he was like, "No, you can keep it. I don't want it because I didn't actually win." Something
Yeah,
like that.
but we'll find out what all the teams bring to the Tricky Triangle this year.
Yeah, we will.
Speaking of Chase,
Who's gonna be some cheaters?
he's 60 points out of the playoffs. Do we think he's gonna get himself into the playoffs?
He's Chase Elliott.
Yeah, I have a feeling he's in a win, like win to get in type of situation.
Because how many more? Races are there till the playoffs? Because the last race till the playoffs is let's see here.
There is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6, because it's Pocono, Richmond, Michigan, Indianapolis Road Course, Watkins Glen, Daytona, and then Darlington starts the round of 16.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's in a must-win situation at this point, but he's Chase Elliott, so that's all I'm gonna say. He's Chase Elliott, so one way or another, he's gonna get in the playoffs. He's
Okay.
gonna do what he has to do.
Hot take. I'm about to, like, he's my favorite driver, so nobody come for me for saying this. What do you guys think about what Austin's doing in the 2 car? He has not been doing well, and I've been seeing so much about people saying that he should give up his seat, and whether it be like move down to the 21 car or something, but
Well,
or pick it up.
I mean, I've seen the same thing about Harrison. They're like, he sucks. He's not doing what he needs to do. I mean, it's the same way with Todd. Like, let's be honest. None of the rookies are doing that good. Like, the best one has been Austin Cindric. I will admit that. I mean, he's been the best. He's won Daytona 500. So,
Which yeah, okay, no, I'm okay. What I mean is over the past couple of races, or actually just this general season, he's cracked the top 10 in what, like 4, 6 times maybe? Like other times he's finishing 21st, 28th. Like, listen, I love the man to death. He's my favorite driver, okay? But where's the one that was like pulling top 10s, like top 5s all last year after he won the Daytona 500? What happened?
I don't even know because this season I feel like is so messed up.
Yeah.
Like, this season is not what I expected. I mean, there's been how many repeat winners this year? And
Yeah.
how many like new people have won this year?
AJ Allmendinger.
Really? Like, not that many, honestly. Like, this season is probably so messed up. Like, it's not the season that I expected.
I feel like a lot of the winners are kind of backwards, like that compared to last season. Like,
Yeah.
Ryan Blaney was so close last year, but could never get a win, and then he wins the longest race of the season
Yeah.
in a postponed race. So
That stressed
and then
me out.
And I would also like to say in Atlanta, the whole qualifying, what the heck was that? The people that were in the top 10? Never would have expected that.
Eric Almirola got pole, right?
Yeah. Harrison was 5th. Austin Cindric was up there. Todd was up there. JJ Gilly was up there. I'm like, what is this?
Now, I will say, I know I was hating on Austin earlier. Austin actually runs pretty well at Atlanta. Like, the second race that I went to after I came back to NASCAR was actually the Atlanta race last year. And Austin finished 3rd. Like, I was so excited. I was standing in the back of his hauler in the garage whenever he came back. And I was so excited. I was like freaking out. And I was like, "Oh my god, I'm so proud of you." And like I gave him a hug, and like it was great. Like that's how I am, okay? I'm proud of him all the time. But there'll be times I'm like, "Excuse me, sir, what are you doing?" Like, I wish I would have got it on camera. Like, the three of us were at Atlanta, and it was qualifying day. It was Saturday. We were standing there. Austin Cindric comes out of the garage, and we get him to come over to sign things. You guys didn't get a picture with him.
No.
Oh no. Okay, anyway. So we get him over there, and he's like, "Oh, I'm going to be late for my dinner reservation or whatever." And then so I'm sitting here joking, right? And I'm like, "Dude, you're a race car driver. You'll be fine. You'll get there." And then like mid-thought, like of me relaying this to him, I'm like, "Wait a second. How do you even what driving style do you use on the regular road? Like how do you drive?" And he's like, "I obey all street laws just like everyone else." And I'm like, "Listen, I know you're supposed to say that, but
you actually obey the rules."
Yeah, like, what's the real answer here? And then if you guys don't know, Austin Cindric got glasses because I think it was during Chicago. He had mentioned that he couldn't, like, when he was racing, he couldn't see whenever it was just like dusk out or something. And because they didn't race all the way to sundown because there's no street lights or like track lights. So he went out and he got glasses, but they're close to the frame shape of mine. And so I made a joke, right? And I was like, "Homeboy, are you trying to copy me?" And he goes, No, I just need glasses to see." And I'm like, "Listen, I don't mean the fact of you actually getting glasses of matching me. I'm talking about the frame shape. Of course, we can't help that we're blind. Okay? Like, come on." But
Oh my gosh.
But yeah, he back to the original point. Sorry, that was like way off. But he runs really really well at super speedways, and I think he does really well at Atlanta because the configuration is set up like a super speedway after they redid it.
Yeah.
And then obviously he usually does pretty well at road courses because that's what his background's in. Like, he used to be a rally car racer.
Mm-hmm.
Fun fact, if you guys didn't know that. I know way too much about that man's racing statistics.
I mean, it's no comment. It's pretty valid.
I can't remember what started that original conversation. Alright. Anyway, I honestly, it would be kind of cool to go to, like, Homestead. Just because, actually, God, people are gonna hate me for me comparing it to this. So the weekend of the Miami Grand Prix, Max Verstappen was racing a some type of Honda on that track. I'm sorry, I'm always relating it back to Formula One. But yeah, there you go. That's why I'd want to go. That's why I'd want to go to Homestead, Miami.
I have never been more excited to go to Talladega in my entire life. I'm just ready to go party it up.
So I walked down Talladega Boulevard for the first time, this past time that we went to Talladega, so earlier this season. I'd never been down Talladega Boulevard, so I was just curious, and I was like, I just want to see it, okay? You know, I'm the type of person that doesn't really get involved with, like, partying or drinking or none of that, okay? And that's not me, okay? And so I feel like I'm kind of boring on that front, but I just wanted to see the vibes, okay? And literally, Talladega Boulevard is a party all week. Like, they go out there and they build bars, like,
oh yeah,
for the entire week. That was wild to see.
If Sid comes, Sid can be our DD.
Talladega might turn me into an alcoholic.
I was about to say, if you guys got a golf cart,
like,
let's go.
An alcoholic already.
Oh.
I am not an alcoholic already. You know what? I actually haven't been drinking that much because there's a thing called a job, and I have to babysit a child in the morning. So
there you go. Depending on.
I'm not an alcoholic. I promise. Don't listen to Molly.
Yeah, depending on the schedule, we'll see what happens.
If you come to Talladega, oh, that's a party in itself.
And actually, this past the earlier Talladega race, a lot of the drivers were out on a float, driving through the infield. And let's see, Austin was on it, Zane was on it, Riley was on it. Like
Noah was walking around.
I actually saw Noah multiple times. He was driving around a golf cart, packed to the brim with people. Like, I'm not even kidding.
What's him with the golf carts? Like, he loves golf carts, which, I mean, I can't really say much because golf carts are, like, the best thing ever invented because you can just cruise around on it.
Mm-hmm.
No cares in the world.
It's definitely fun.
Yeah, it is.
All right, even with our weird setups, and new setups, this has been the 4th episode of the Trackside Girls podcast. Thanks for watching, guys. Peace out. Oh my gosh.
Peace out.